Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing an updated version of my Dark Magician deck profile. Now this deck is actually my most viewed deck profile on my channel now, and I'm really proud to say that because this is one of my favorite decks of all time as Dark Magicians. Actually, the third structure deck that I ever owned was a Dark Magician Yugioh structure deck. So it's one of my top 5 probably favorite decks of all time, and I actually been considering doing some top 5s on my channel, and I really want to hear from you guys. Comment down below, tell me if you want to see those. But without further ado, let's get straight on into this, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell down there so you can become a part of the notification squad, and let's get straight on into this. So, first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Dark Magician. You've got to play 3 copies of Dark Magician in the deck because it's the vanilla in this deck, but it also summons off some of the most powerful monsters in the entire deck with some of the most powerful cards like Eternal Soul and Dark Magic Circle, but it's basically the key card of the deck, and also is the Ultimate Wizard in terms of attack and defense. So you've got to play 3 copies of the Ultimate Wizard. So then we play 2 copies of Magician of Dark Illusion. Basically, Magician of Dark Illusion is a shadow version of Dark Magician, but it has the effect of that it's treated as Dark Magician while in the field. Also has the ability that during your opponent's turn, if you activate a spell or trap, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you activate a spell or trap or effect while this card is face up on the field, except during the damage step, you can target a Dark Magician in your grave and special summon it, and you can only use that effect once while this card's on the field. So it special summons Dark Magician to get your XYZ plays going, which is really nice. Then we play 3 copies of Apprentice Illusion Magician. Her effect is one of the best effects in the entire deck. She is an amazing card. She's a hand trap, a special summoner, and a searcher. You just cannot get much better than her. Her effect is that you can special summon this card from your hand by discarding 1 card, and if this card is normal or special summon, you get to add a Dark Magician card or Dark Magician from your deck to your hand, which is really cool. And during damage calculation, if a Dark Spellcaster type monster you control is battling an opponent's monster, you can send her from the field or your hand to the graveyard to let that monster gain 2,000 additional attack points, which is really good. Your opponent will think twice before they attack a Dark Magician on your side of the field because it makes your Dark Magicians as big as a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. So then we play 3 copies of Magician's Rod. No pun intended. Dark Magician, or Magician's Rod, does not actually count as Dark Magician while anywhere on the field, which kind of sucks. I wish it was like Dark Magician's Rod. It's getting worse with the jokes as they go on. But when it's normal summon, you can add a spell or trap card from your deck to your hand that specifically lists Dark Magician in its text, which is pretty cool. And then during your opponent's turn, if you activate a spell trap or effect while this card is in your grave, except during the turn it was sent there, or damage step, you can tribute this card, or tribute a spellcaster type monster and add it back to your hand, which is kind of nice. And then I play something for my own little personal text. I've seen other people kind of do this, but I don't see a lot of people do this. And that is 2 copies of Mana Dragon. Mana Dragon Zatrion is a really good card in this deck because if a spell or trap you control leaves the field because of an opponent's effect and is now in the graveyard or banished. So basically, if they remove a spell or trap from your field, except for like Giant Truenating it back to your hand, you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. And then if you do, you get to set one of those cards that was banished or in your grave back to your side of the field, which is really good because it kind of resets your Eternal Souls and it resets your Magician Circles and all sorts of good stuff like that, which is really good to just be able to stop your opponent because we rely so heavily on our back row in this deck. Then I play 3 copies of Keeper of Dragon Magic. This card is used to summon out our Dark Magician the Dragon Knight, because Dark Magician the Dragon Knight just requires Dark Magician and a Dragon monster, which is kind of cool. So if this card is normal summon or special summon, you can discard a card to add a Polymerization normal spell from your deck to your hand. And then if you do, you can reveal a fusion monster. Hello, Dark Magician the Dragon Knight. And once you reveal that monster, you can special summon from your extra deck, or special summon from your graveyard and face down defense position a monster that's listed on it. So Dark Magician is actually listed on Dark Magician the Dragon Knight. So you can special summon that Dark Magician the Dragon Knight. Or special summon that Dark Magician. So you can then use the Polymerization to special summon Dark Magician the Dragon Knight. So this is basically like a 1 card plus the discard Dark Magician the Dragon Knight, which summoning Keeper of Dragon Magic just off your normal summon. Then for the last monster, I play 1 copy of Spellbook, Magician of Prophecy. Basically, the only reason you play this card is because it searches secrets and knowledge to get our draw power. It's a little bitty draw power engine that we have in this deck, but it's really, really good, and you need to play it at 1. I wouldn't play it at anything ever than 1. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So really, really fun deck, really easy to build. It's relatively cheap now to play too, and I actually love this deck or this mat. You guys should give me a like just for that mat for the Ebon Illusion Magician. I think it's Ebon High Magician. But Dark Magician Inheritance, you play 1 copy of Inheritance. You banish 2 spell and trap or spell cards from your grave to add a spell or trap that specifically lists Dark Magician from your deck to your hand. Really good card. You need it as a 1-of for the search. Dark Magic Attack, I think it's a good 1-of. It just destroys all spell and trap that your opponent controls if you control Dark Magician. Illusion Magic. Basically, you tribute a spellcaster to add 2 copies of Dark Magician from your deck to your hand or graveyard to your hand, which is nice. 2 polymerizations. I don't think you need more than 2 because you're never going to use more than 2 because I only play 4 fusion monsters in the extra deck. 1 copy of Spellbook of Secrets. Spellbook of Secrets searches out our Spellbook of Knowledge, and it also searches out the Spellbook, Blue Boy, the Spellbook Magician. Then 2 copies of Spellbook of Knowledge. I consider bumping it up to 3. I think 2 is the perfect number for Spellbook of Knowledge because you get to send a spellcaster type monster you control or 1 other Spellbooks card from your hand or face up from your side of the field to the grave, draw 2 cards. I don't feel like you ever needed it more than 2. 3 copies of Allure of Darkness. Allure of Darkness just lets us draw extra cards. The only thing that's not dark in the main deck is the Spellbook Magician, which is water type, which is interesting. And then for the final 3 cards, which is the most important spell card in the deck, and that is 3 copies of Dark Magical Circle. This card is essentially Pot of Duality and a banish at all times. What it does is when you activate it, you get to look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and then reveal 1 Dark Magician or 1 spell card that specifically lists Dark Magician and add it to your hand. Then you get to put the cards back that you didn't add to your hand on top of your deck in any order. Then if you special summon Dark Magician or normal summon Dark Magician, which you're never going to normal summon Dark Magician, when you special summon that Dark Magician, you get to banish a card on the field. The only bad thing is it does target, which kind of sucks. So that's a thing. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So we're going to play the guessing game with the traps. So I want you guys to comment down below the first trap that I'm going to be playing. Okay, it's a 3-of that is the whole reason that I actually updated this deck. And it's something that's not Magician's Navigation or Eternal Soul. It's a 3-of that I'm playing. So comment down below, tell me what you think this is. I love playing this game with you guys. So comment down there and tell me what you think this card is, because I actually sometimes learn about really interesting text. I'm like, wow, that actually should have been the card that I put in there, but whoops, I didn't. But this card's a really good card to play in this deck and can really end an entire duel off of 1 card. Okay, so here we go. Comment down below. Tell me what you think it is. We're going to reveal it in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So it is Eradicator Epidemic Virus. You can play it at 3 now because it went to 3 on the list. You tribute a dark monster with 2,500 attack. That just screams Dark Magician on the card. And then after you do, you call either spells or traps, and your opponent cannot activate spells or traps for the rest of the next 3 turns. I mean, they don't stop them from activating them, but they send them all to the graveyard. They can activate graveyard effects, but we have something for that as well. Then we play 3 copies of Magician's Navigation. You need 3 copies of Magician's Navigation in this deck, because what it does is basically special summons a Dark Magician from your hand, and then a Dark Magician or a level 7 or lower spellcaster type monster from your deck. So it's a really, really good card. It also has the added effect that if it's in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, you can banish it to actually negate the activation of a card. Because like you get to target a card on the field and make it so its effect is negated for the turn. So like you can actually negate Twin Twisters because you can activate this in the same chain to banish it and it negates the Twin Twisters, which is really interesting. Then I play 3 copies of Eternal Soul is the last 3 cards that I play. You need at least 2 Eternal Souls. I like the 3rd one because it special summons Dark Magician onto the field. And it searches your Dark Magic Attack as well. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. The only thing that you have to remember about Eternal Soul is you have to protect it, because if it gets destroyed on the field, then it destroys all your monsters, which kind of sucks. But hey, if they start to get destroyed, you can Eradicate or Epidemic Virus them, because you can tribute your monsters to stop that. So for the extra deck, guys, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Dark Magician the Dragon Knight, 2 copies of Dark Magician and the Dragon Knight. You need 2 copies of it. The only thing that you have to keep in mind is actually a dragon, so it doesn't apply with the Apprentice Illusion Magician, which kind of sucks. I wish it was actually a spellcaster. It would be great. But its name becomes Dark Magician while on the field or in the grave, and then your opponent cannot target spell cards or spells or traps you control with card effects, and also they cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. But it's a 3k walking beat stick, which is great too. It actually has the stats of a Blue Eyes White Dragon, which is interesting. Then we play 1 copy of Amulet Dragon. It just takes a Dragon-type monster and a Dark Magician as well, so, you know, you can make it really easily with your copy of, what's it called? Keep Your Dragon Magic. It's really, really easy to summon, and then it's actually really fun to make this against Sky Strikers, because if this card is special summon, you get to target any number of spell cards in any graveyard and banish those targets, and if you do, this card gains 100 attack for each banished effect. And if this card is destroyed, you can target a spellcaster-type monster in your grave and special summon it. I make this every game against Sky Strikers. Every single game. Then I play 1 copy of Starving Vid Infusion Dragon, because you just activate Polymerization with 2 of your dark monsters and make it. It's really easy to make. Ebon Illusion Magician is the one that I was thinking of, but it's actually Ebon High Magician that's on the mat. Basically, these guys, I don't usually make Ebon High Magician. I usually just make Ebon Illusion Magician, but they're both here, and they both have their uses, and that's why I make them. But I usually make Illusion Magician a lot more, because it lets me special summon a normal Spellcaster-type monster, and then if a normal Spellcaster-type monster battles, I can banish a card on the field, which is good. Flare Metal, you can't play Dark Magicians without playing a Flare Metal and having an ode to Joey Wheeler. And yes, we have a Ghost Rare first edition Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon for this. You know, I don't lack on any of that. And I have to play the Ghost Rare. It's just too good. You guys should totally give me a like for that. And 1 number 11 Big Eye just to steal our opponent's monsters off the field, which is good. Noriato, the Moral Leader. And the only thing that you have to remember about Noriato is because it does require spellcaster-type monsters, you have to use the Apprentice Illusion Magicians to make it. 1 copy of Borreload and Boral Sword. I actually proxy the Boral Sword because I don't have a Boral Sword, which kind of sucks. But if you guys totally want to, you can check out how I make these proxies in the description down below. I will show you guys how to make it. I actually have a video on my channel, which is my most viewed video of all time. At the time of this video, it was like 43,000 views. You guys should totally check that out. It's a really good way to make these proxies so you can see how to make them when you're playtesting and stuff like that. Or if you have to do deck profiles and you don't have a particular card. Nightmare Unicorn. Nightmare Unicorn just bounces stuff. Summon Sorcerer summons when I need it. Phoenix just pops spells, and then Cerberus pops monsters. So that's it for the deck, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this deck. It's a really, really fun deck to play. Really easy to build. It's kind of cheap. It's relatively cheap now. I remember when I got the deck, I paid like $30 per circle and $30 per navigation just because I wanted this deck and I wanted to profile it really, really bad. So, anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think of this deck profile down in the comments down below. Hit the bell so you can become part of the notification squad, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.